Usually, as I have mentioned, the court all the time, while taking its rulings, makes balances between two interests where are always in conflict. On the one hand, the individual interest, and on the other hand, the public interest. And usually, it's very, very difficult to decide, because you may say that this interest is legitimate and the other is legitimate, but the judges were brought to this job in order to decide which interest is much more important in the specific case. And you can say that we are trying all our best as a Supreme Court in order to maintain justice while doing this checks and balances between all the interests, and in order to maintain equality between all the parts of the population in Israel, and to prevent discrimination. It's very important to us that every citizen will feel that his rights are protected by the Supreme Court. And in many cases, I can say that we are lucky to have in our country many human rights organizations, and they help many petitioners to come to our court, and they are very, very active, including Palestinian citizens who lives in the Palestinian authorities. They have the right also to apply to the Israeli Supreme Court against the army authorities or against the state. And hundreds of cases are filed to our court every year concerning the demand of some Palestinian citizens who wants to get a special permission from the army authorities to enter to Israel for health treatment, for example, or for to work. And in many cases, we as a court tries to make compromise between the two parties and convince the state in sometimes to give this Palestinians the permission to come to Israel in order to have this health treatment. While saying that, I can't say that all the petitions filed by the Palestinians are approved and accepted by the court. But in more than one case, some of the petitions were approved, and the judgment was for the benefit of this specific petitioner. Another thing that I will give you a few words about the Supreme Court. We are very proud to say that we have 15 judges in the Supreme Court. 5 out of them are women judges. I think it's a very good percentage. It is almost the same percentage like in your country, but we are more than you because we are 5 and not 3. You know, it's the same percentage, but we are very proud to have 5 women judges in our Supreme Court. And including the fact that we have, the first time in our history, the president is also a woman justice, President Orit Beinish. And we hope that the incoming president would be also a woman judge, because we, according to the seniority. This is a fact that we are very proud of it. Another fact about the equality between men and women, we have in our country 6 courts of appeal, and 4 out of the 6 presidents of those courts are women presidents. You know, it's high percentages. It's the majority. More than 70% of the attorney generals in Israel office are women lawyers. And go back to the law schools. I think more than 50% of law students in Israel are women. You know, it's very important to know that. And while talking about the equality of the Arab woman, for example, you know, the Arab society used to be in the past a conservative society, but today it's very modern in Israel. And I can give you an example. In Haifa University, I'm a member of the board of trustees of the university. More than 58% of the Arab students in the Haifa University are women. It is a great progress that the Arab women had made during the last years, and of course we are very proud of it, and we want more and more and more. A very unique thing I want to mention about our judiciary, it is that we have special tribunals for religious communities in Israel dealing with personal status cases. According to historical reasons from the Ottoman period, every religious community has the right to have its own religious tribunals dealing with personal status cases, especially divorce and marriage cases. We have the rabbinical court for the Jewish community, the Sharia court for the Muslim community, and 15 religious Christian courts for the several recognized Christian communities in Israel, like we have for the Greek Melkite Catholic, Greek Orthodox, Maronites, Roman Catholics, Anglicans, Baptists, Lutheran, Copts, Ethiopians, Syriac, Armenians, etc., etc. Every community has the right to have its own tribunal, including the Court of Appeal. And they are independent to give their rulings according to the specific law of this community, without intervening of the secular civil courts in their rulings. And I have a small anecdote about the complexity of the situation in our country concerning this matter. The Maronite religious tribunal is located in Haifa, the first degree, while the appellate degree is located in Beirut. Then one side who lost his case in the Haifa tribunal wanted to appeal his case to Beirut. He couldn't do it because there is no diplomatic relations between the two countries. Then he mailed his appeal to Beirut, to the court in Beirut, and the court in Beirut sent it back through the mail to Israel, and he wanted to implement this ruling in the implementation office, which is part of the Minister of Justice in our state. And the other side claimed that you cannot do it because this ruling was given by a tribunal which is located in a country that do not have diplomatic relations with the State of Israel. This issue was brought to the Supreme Court. This is one kind of cases that we as Supreme Court deal. It's a very small one, but it's very effective, and people want a solution, and this solution couldn't be given only by the Supreme Court. We respect, of course, as a civil courts, the religious courts. It is a mutual respect, because we don't want to intervene in the personal status cases which belongs to every community. Another thing that I want to mention, that we as a democratic country, of course, respect the principle of separation of powers, that every authority has the right to take its decisions according to what it thinks it is good for the public in the country. And due to the lack of written constitution in Israel, the role of the Supreme Court is vital and important in protecting democracy and protecting human rights in Israel. We do not have, for historical reasons, written constitution in our country, and the parliament in the early 50th of the last century decided, in order to have in the future written constitution, to enact laws who were called basic laws. And we have until now about 15 basic laws. Basic laws are much more stronger than regular law, and we are waiting for enacting 2 more basic laws. One is the social rights basic law, and another is the human rights basic law. Once we will have those laws enacted by the parliament, when we gather all the 17 basic laws, this will be the written constitution of the State of Israel. But in spite of the fact that we do not have this written constitution until now, the court decided in a very important case in a panel of 9 judges, the Supreme Court, in 1993, that there is right to Supreme Court to overturn act enacted by the parliament. It was the first time that this was a very important decision. And for this reason, we have a judicial review, and it is vital to have judicial review upon the decisions of the government and the enactments of the parliament. I think it is very important to have this. And although we respect, of course, the members of the parliament and the members of the cabinet, but at the same time, in order to protect democracy in our country, it is vital to have this judicial review.